We go from Florida to cupcakes and further distracting us from the ills of this world. That's what we like to close with on a Friday. Places to escape. And we have the magic of cinema brought to us by Michael Snyder, who, as you
Hey,
Michael, how we doing?
Good. I'm good. Hey, I'm glad to draw with you, Mr. Shore. But damn, Mark taking Friday off again. Who does he think he is? Johnny Carson?
Well, he's getting to that point, right? Where Carson was working like 2 or 3 days a week.
That's one for the boomers, by the way.
Yeah, I'm a poor man's Joan Rivers, apparently.
Right. Mark's been very cagey about it, but I think he and Courtney are on their way to the first weekend of Coachella. I mean, maybe, right? I would be going there myself if gasoline wasn't up to $25 a gallon in LA. Instead, I'm going to don some headphones, turn the volume up to 10, put the latest Sabrina Carpenter album on repeat, and then stand in one place for 8 hours. It's basically the Coachella experience.
There you go. But you're that much farther away from Coachella Valley Coffee, so you should order it, have it sent to you, so then you really have the Coachella experience.
That's true. And by the way, I sympathize with your lack of a Mark Thompson show mug. I've been asking Mark for Sweet 106 cupcakes as a little boon for weeks, and I think I will get a cupcake when you get your mug, or vice versa.
Well, we can break bread together that day then. Well done.
So let's get to the new movies that are opening. What do you say?
I'm in. Okay,
here's one I think Kim might be interested in. In You, Me, and Tuscany, Anna, an American girl who always dreamed of becoming a Michelin-level chef, screws up her house-sitting job and subsequently meets a charming Italian named Matteo, who is on a business trip to the United States.
Well, hello, Matteo.
Right, there you go. But wait. I know you're looking at the poster, but that's not Matteo.
Oh, what a letdown.
It's coming. Matteo inspires Anna to fly to Italy on her own, where, as it happens, his villa is sitting empty while he's traveling. And of course, Anna ends up there where she has to deal with Matteo's family, including, here you go, Kim, his handsome cousin, Michael.
Mm-hmm. It's the Michael Dag. I'm Michael Schur, Michael Snyder, and a mystery Michael.
And who's the handsome cousin? That's what I want to know.
This is a pretty and pleasant formula movie with attractive actors being likable amid the beauty of the Tuscan countryside. And then there's the added bonus of some very yummy food porn. And no, I don't mean lovemaking in a vat of spaghetti gravy. No, there's a lot of preparation, and you're in the heart of one of the great cuisines of the world. Oh, my God. It's hard not to be salivating as you watch. And I don't mean it the actors, Kim, although, yes, they are attractive. And it's really hard not to sit back and enjoy watching the adorable Anna, played by Halle Bailey, who made a splash in The Little Mermaid. Get that? Okay, yeah. Splash, mermaid.
Yeah.
And watch her get entangled with handsome Michael, played by Regé Jean Page from Bridgerton and Black Bag.
Nice choice.
He's a good-looking man. And, of course, he's part of this family, and he has a vineyard, and the clan owns a restaurant, and the romantic summer festival is unfurling in the lushness of Tuscany. Look, there are some heavy-handed supporting turns, but there are also some decent gags, and there's never a moment that wasn't going to play out exactly the way you expect. In fact, I saw every plot point and contrivance coming straight down the Appian way. Sorry, couldn't resist the Italian reference. Anyway, director Kat Corio, or Quaro, is at the helm, and this is, to date, probably her best film. And prior to this, the only film that even came close to being okay was the mediocre J-Lo Owen Wilson rom-com Marry Me. And while You, Me, and Tuscany isn't anywhere near greatness, this is definitely a step up. Easy watching, Kim. That's all I'll say about it. It's in theaters this weekend.
Miss Kitty says it looks like a Hallmark movie.
It is. Yeah. It's a glorified It's a glorified Hallmark movie. That's absolutely right.
Here's what it is. It's You and Tuscany.
Yeah.
Taking the me out of that one, but it sounds like it's pleasant.
Yeah, I don't know, good of kind, I guess. It really doesn't break any new ground. Let's talk Beast. That's right. Another movie titled Beast, only a few years after the pretty good Idris Elba Man versus Wildlife action film of that name. This 2026 Beast is a decent, if generic, sports redemption movie about Aussie mixed martial arts fighter Patton James, played by Daniel McPherson, who was really good in this the thriller called Land of Bad a couple years ago. And Patton James loses his championship status at the beginning of the film. He retires, but shortly thereafter, well, years later, we cut to years later, and he finds himself back in the game when the current champ, his old rival Xavier Grau, played by Brem Foster, targets the ex-champ's reckless younger brother, who is also an MMA fighter. And after one of a series of inciting incidents, an unscrupulous MMA promoter lures James into unretiring for a winner-take-all match versus Grau. The showdown is kind of inevitable, as is James reuniting with his wizened old trainer, Sammy, for the pivotal clash. You know that's coming. Like with Yumi and Tuscany, we have been here before, but cliches and echoes of other things aside, this is done in competent fashion with good thrust to the movie and some punch, so to speak, thanks to the cast and pretty solid direction from Tyler Atkins. And then their supporting player and co-screenwriter, you ready? Russell Crowe, whose latter-day career has really benefited from the depth of his work in like gruff character roles. I mean, he was tremendous in Nuremberg as Hermann Goering. If you haven't seen Nuremberg, that's a movie you should watch instead of this or Yumi and Tuscany. But, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Anyway, Crowe plays Sammy the trainer, and keeping the Aussie star power going, they brought in Luke Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth, bro, to play the slimy promoter. Beast is in theaters, not terrible. I was entertained. Are you not entertained? They ask. I was entertained. Anyway, let's get to something a little more highbrow and honestly better. The latest film from the ever reliable filmmaker Steven Soderbergh, whose sly, literate espionage movie Black Bag was one of my favorites of 2025. And by the way, had a supporting role for Regé-Jean Page. But Soderbergh is back with The Christophers, which is essentially a two-person face-off that has fun with the fickle nature of the art world while addressing questions of legacy, fame, and what, if anything, an artist ultimately owes admirers and the public. At the center of The Christophers is Julian Sklar, who is a dying painter and the former darling of the critics, and he is played by Ian McKellen. Oh, my God. So the artist's disenfranchised son and daughter would like to get their hands on Dad's lost, supposedly unfinished portrait series known as The Christophers and use it as their inheritance because, he's not really leaving them anything. So the siblings hire a young woman with enough skill to forge The Christophers if she can spirit the canvases out of Dad's atelier. I mean, what an absolute treat to watch McKellen for an hour and a half, 2 hours, still at the top of his game at the age of 86, and watch him work his magic opposite talented actress Michaela Cole, whose career is just getting started. The siblings, by the way, are played by James Corden, familiar to American audiences from The Late Late Show, and Jessica Gunning, who was so central to Netflix's acclaimed series Baby Reindeer. This thing was written by Ed Solomon, who did Now You See Me, Men in Black, and Soderbergh's terrific 1950 set crime drama No Sudden Move. And this is taut and funny and sharp. If you want to watch a battle of wits between a canny old master, that is an art reference, and a bold, youthful upstart, check into The Christophers. It is in select theaters starting today.
That one sounds good.
It's damn good. It's damn good. And speaking of bold, Riz Ahmed is on fire as everyone's favorite tormented Shakespearean prince in a very clever, lean, and effective update of Hamlet, which relocates the story from centuries ago Denmark to modern-day London's well-to-do South Asian community. And man, it works. In this version, Elsinore isn't the town ruled by the Danish king who is Hamlet's father. It's the name of the sprawling development and construction company owned and operated by Hamlet's dad. So the setting is different, but the dialogue, which is kind of edited down here and there for streamlining purposes, is straight from the bard. So you do get some of your favorite soliloquies, one of which is actually performed behind the wheel of a speeding car, and it works. Unbelievably, it works. As for the classic story beats from the original play, Hamlet comes home for his father's funeral to learn that his uncle Claudius is about to marry his newly widowed mother and take over the family business. This is all familiar to people who've seen Hamlet before. Hamlet's father's ghost appears to him and reveals a fiendish truth about the patriarch's untimely death, and this sends Hamlet into revenge mode, and it kind of drives him a little nuts. So the various changes made are well thought out, including a change of the invading armies of the Norwegian Prince Fortinbras into a set of angry squatters who are made homeless by a massive Elsinore construction project. And this isn't really in the dialogue, but it's in how things play out visually that you know this. I found this thing dazzling, especially Ahmed. Riz got that Riz, as the kids say, like charisma. And he's got the acting chops. The supporting cast is great, including Morfydd Clark as Hamlet's star-crossed love interest, the poor, distressed Ophelia, Joe Alwyn as his betrayed friend Laertes, and the veteran actor Timothy Spall as Laertes' father, Polonius. This is very well adapted by screenwriter Michael Leslie and deftly directed by Anil Karia. This Hamlet is in select theaters. And let's see here. You know what? I've got some interesting stuff from overseas I want to zip through just to give people an idea of what's out there. And these are, again, much better than the mainstream films we led off with. Exit 8 is apparently based on a video game, but it is nothing like the usual CGI-driven action movie that comes from that world. This is a slow burn Japanese thriller and like an intricate, incredibly original, absurdist mystery about a young man who's just been informed that his girlfriend is pregnant and trying to decide whether or not to have the baby. But he's trapped inside a subway station and he's going in circles and running into the same people over and over, and he can't find his way out. This is unbelievably engaging. Something like I've never seen before. It does recall the theater of the absurd. The playwright, Ionesco and what have you would do these things that seem like futility in action, and it has that element too. But as he tries to puzzle out a way to escape the subway, you're with this guy. It's just beautifully done. It's written and directed by Genki Kawamura, and I couldn't recommend it higher. And it's in select theaters here, there, and everywhere. Kazunari Ninomiya plays the guy who's trapped in the middle of all this. Exit 8 was kind of astonishing, and very, very topical, and very, very gloves off is the brutally funny and dark mix of drama, comedy, and music from Israel called Yes. It is frighteningly up to date. It occasionally reminded me of Paolo Sorrentino's movies, especially there's an opening at a lavish party in Tel Aviv that could have been the same over-the-top Roman soiree that we see in Sorrentino's The Great Beauty. But this is about a young couple who seem to have everything going for them. They're beautiful. They're talented. He's a musician. She's a dancer. They have a beautiful baby. They're well-loved by people in power. But when he's asked to write an anthem for the Israeli occupation of Gaza, everything goes off the rails. And seriously, Michael, you should see this movie. Again, it's called Yes. It is the work of director-screenwriter Nadav Lapid. They pull no punches here. This is post-October 7th. The horror of the massacre is acknowledged, but also as the movie unfolds and he begins trying to write this anthem, which is creepy as hell, and based on a real anthem used by the Israeli government to inspire the troops, he starts becoming a little kind of uneasy about what's going on and his part in helping to promote it. And we do get reports of all the atrocities going on in Gaza in the wake of the massacre. So that gives it a very topical base to lean on. It's an indictment of contemporary Israel, but it also shows all the gray areas that they're dealing with, considering what happened back on October 7th. It is currently in select theaters. As of May 12th, it'll be available for streaming. Yes, kick some ass, man. I really was impressed with it.
Wow, the last three all sound fantastic to me, Michael. So I appreciate that. I'm just the Tuscany thing, beautiful. I love food, but I think I'm going to go to the other three.
Yeah, who doesn't love to eat? I'm telling you. Well, I want to quickly note 2 movies available only for streaming. One is called Outcome, and it seems to have everything going for it. It's a dark comedy about a Hollywood star who's been on hiatus. He's played by Keanu Reeves, who's always wonderful. He's back after 5 years off. He had to clean up his drug issues, but someone is holding a tape over him and wants to blackmail him. And his crisis lawyer, Ira, played by Jonah Hill, who wrote and directed this, or co-wrote and directed this thing, is telling him all the various ways he has to deal with it. His best friends are played by Cameron Diaz and Matt Bomer. So much talent here. There are some interesting cameos, but it just doesn't hold together. It just doesn't work. It's available on Apple TV. I guess I expected more when you've got so much talent on board. I mean, we even get like David Spade as the next door neighbor, Laverne Cox as another lawyer, Susan Lucci plays his mom, the soap opera actress. Martin Scorsese plays the guy who first discovered him, a talent agent, Martin Scorsese. And I'm thinking this is going to be great, and it just kind of didn't work.
He was in a movie called Round Midnight, which I loved. He played like a music agent, a music rep. He was great.
Marty, he's got some skills, man. But I will say the broad, self-aware, low-budget college stoner movie, pizza movie, actually made me laugh. It's streaming on Hulu. It's about college students that are dealing with bullies and what have you, and they inadvertently ingest a psychedelic. And it stars Galen Matarazzo from Stranger Things as one of the 2 kids, and features a pretty funny supporting role by SNL's Sarah Sherman. It's called Pizza Movie. And, I laughed. If that's the indicator of a successful comedy, this is dumb stuff, but I laughed. Pizza Movie on Hulu, and that wraps it up.
All right. Well, Michael, that is a fantastic recap. 2 streamers, some things in theaters. I like Exit 8. I like Yes and the Christopher. So I'm in for those. So I appreciate it. Excellent. Michael Snyder is the culture blaster. Do you go out on a rainbow as well? I forget. I haven't done this
I do, and you can check out my articles, including whatever's current. It's about the AI doc at The Voice of San Francisco, thevoicesf.org. We'll talk about more movies, and we'll talk about some TV shows next week on Friday. Hopefully, Mark will be back. But again, always a pleasure, Michael Shore and Kim. Yay. You are a goddess. I love you, kiddo.
Love you too. Have a great day.
All right. It's Michael Snyder.
He comes and goes.
Yep. He comes and goes on a rainbow. I should have known that.
Yeah.